Hi everyone! Welcome back to another arts and crafts session. And for today, I'm going to show you how to do this water well paper craft. That's right! It's mostly made out of paper or those materials that are easily accessible within your homes. While we make this craft, it is good to be reminded of the story of Jesus and the woman at the well. The Bible says that Jesus is our living water. Just like every day, whenever we are thirsty, we need water to drink. Same with our lives, we also need Jesus every single day. So, let's head on and prepare our materials. Okay, so first let's get these two tissue rolls, and I pre-cut it already here so I can open it. Now we are going to flatten it and try rolling it gently to the opposite direction so later we can get a bigger curve than our original shape. So more or less, this is the shape that we want to achieve. So we're going to do the same on the other piece. And you would get a letter C. Now let's take out our glue, and we need to stick both ends together. So just press it gently for a while until the glue dries up. So we have now formed the structure of our well. It's easy, right? Now we are going to decorate it and make it colorful. So let's get our pieces of papers, the colored ones, and usually we have these leftover scraps of colored paper, so sometimes we save it, and now is the time when we can use it to decorate our well. So let's have all of them together like this, and we are going to cut them all at the same time. I would just like to make small squared pieces out of it. So by doing this, we are saving time and effort by cutting it all together instead of one by one. Now we have these colored pieces, and it's time to cover our well. So let's get our glue again and cover up. Put an ample amount of glue on the surface of this tissue roll and just pick the colors away and stick it on the tissue rolls. So try mixing and matching the colors so that it would end up being colorful. So what I used, these are construction papers. As you can see, they're all similar in texture and type of paper. And the color actually looks a bit pastel, so that when you combine them all together, it sort of creates one uniform look. This process may take a bit long, but for kids, this is actually a good motor skill to be practiced on as they try to put the pieces of papers together. Now, this is how it looks. So if you want to fill up the inner portion of more colors, you can actually do so. It's so colorful, right? And you can put 1 or 2 layers of colored papers inside so that when you look at it, it would be more colorful also from the inside. Now let's set this aside and we are going to get this cardstock. Now let's position our cardstock vertically and we need to have a strip of 2 inches. So let's get our ruler and our pencil and we are going to put a mark here to make a strip of 2 inches. Cardstocks are like soft paper boards and sometimes we need their weighty structure for specific crafts. We are going to make the side structure of our well, so we need a thicker paper to have a sturdier structure. The cardstock I'm using now is about 200 GSM. So I have an orange here, but you may also choose a different color. Next, we need to fold it in half vertically. So we will be putting a mark again on top, half of it, which is 1 inch. Also down here, 1 inch. And we are going to draw a line. So don't take off your ruler. From here, you are going to fold the paper against the ruler. We need the ruler so that we can make a straight line out of it, a straight curve. Now we have our strip. Next, we are going to fold it in half and we are going to cut it. So let's get our well, and this is the part where we are going to do the side structure already, like this. And we need to stick the fold together. Next, we're going to get our puncher. And we need to place a hole here on one of the sides so that later we would hang our pole there. Now we have our hole and we are just going to make a round corner. So now that we have our well and our structure here, we need to make a bar here on top wherein we can hang the bucket later. So I have this 1/4 size of construction paper, and what we're gonna do is we are going to fold it here on the tip, make a small fold like this, and continue folding it until eventually it would get easier to roll the paper. Now we are going to stick this end. So now this is the bar made from paper, and another alternative is you can use maybe chopsticks or lollipop sticks or whatever you can find there at your home. But if you don't have any, this is the way to go. So we are going to insert it here on one side, turning it so that it can easily go inside that hole. And then we are going to do the same on the other side. So just continue rolling it, until it gets easier and until the space is all filled up here. So if there's an excess length, we can just easily cut it. So now we have our well and the bar here on top. We are now going to do the bucket, and we have the yarn here. So first off, we're doing the pail or the bucket. We need this strip. This is sized 4" by 1 1/4. And for the handle, we need this thin strip here, about 1/4 in width. And this is later for the bottom part of the bucket. So first, we are going to round it up like this, and we are going to stick both ends together. Now it's dried up. We are going to put a tip of glue again here, just to stick this one for our handle. Press it gently. And then on the other side, we are going to measure how long the handle will be. So in this case, we can see that there's an extra here, and we can just cut it. So we are going to put a tip of glue here on the other side, and we are going to stick it here on top of the other side. Okay, now that the glue dried up, we are going to get this piece of paper here, and we are just going to trace the circle at the bottom part. Even though if it's not perfect, it's okay. Just hold it gently, press it against the paper at the bottom, and then gently trace the circle. And then cut it. You can place an allowance of around 1 or 2 millimeters from the line, and that's okay. So we are going to put the glue here on the edge of the circle, and we are going to just place this bucket on top. So while we wait for the glue to dry, let's just place it on one side, and we'll get our yarn, and we are going to make the rope that will hang this bucket to this bar. So first, we are going to tie it on one side, now we are going to roll the yarn towards the right. So continue rolling until you reach about the center of the bar, and this is the point where we will let the yarn just flow down, and that is where we are going to hang the bucket later. So now we are going to tie this here on the handle of the bucket. Then we can make a double knot to really secure it. So now this is how it looks. We're going to place the bucket inside, and when we want to get water, we just need to roll this up and lift the bucket up. So there you have it. You can play with this water well as you roll up and down the bucket. Thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed. Please do share again to the group your version of this water well. See you next week!